Welcome back to another episode of... We don't know what we're doing.
Modern Motors.
So, as always, we're transparent with you guys. We're always transparent. We're the most transparent channel out here. We're a little too transparent sometimes. But I want to tell you guys the honest truth. We recorded this video, and the audio was garbage. So, here we are again, doing it all over. And I didn't really want to get back, because we already had this video recorded. I was already started editing. This was supposed to go out right after the last one, but I just got tired of editing and recording.
We just got tired. We're tired, man.
We had to go back to real life, go back to work and stuff. So this is a continuation of the vlog, kind of. We only have like one spot where we break down and we kind of talk about it on camera. But yeah, so this is the continuation of that, and we're gonna talk about everything that's gone wrong with the car during the 4,000 mile trip. We did have some things go wrong with the car. Yeah, we did have some things that were a little concerning. And we're just going to give you an overall review. Don't mind our son. He's just falling asleep back there behind us. But we're going to jump straight into that today. You record me.
Record you?
Yeah. So we just ran into our first check engine light. We are, how many miles into this already? We are 2,309 miles into the trip. We still have about 1,200 miles to go. And yeah, we ran into our first check engine light. But when we're throttling it, the car kind of like cut out. I think it's either a fueling or mass airflow sensor issue. So I really don't know. I'm just guessing because I don't have a scanner, so I can't really tell you what it is. So how far are we away from the dealer?
2 hours.
Like 2 hours away from the dealer. So the check engine light isn't flashing, so we're not misfiring. So I'm gonna try to take it as slow as I possibly can to the next location, and then see if we can diagnose it from there.
Today we did the auxiliary cooling system bleeder. That plastic part likes to fall apart in the cooling system, along with some other parts that do fall apart in the cooling system, because plastic is just a bad idea. So what we did was we just deleted that part, because 2020s and up don't come with that bleeder. So there's no big deal on deleting that bleeder. It'll still bleed through this, bleeder tube into the tank. So we just deleted that bleeder that came apart, made a mess, and it's all good and done now.
What are the other common ones that break?
So the other common ones that dry rot and just fall apart are this tank bleeder tube. Mm-hmm. It'll fall apart if you take this cover off or do a tune-up. The coil will hit the tube when you take the coil out if you're not careful. And it'll also fall apart in here. If I remove this, it could just not come out. It'll just stay in there. So the inner piece is very fragile in there over time. And then this bleeder that you should never use, because it also fails often. That bleeder will just pop that cap off and spew coolant everywhere. And I've seen that, quite a few times. So that's all preventative maintenance, is replacing all the plastic in your cooling system. About every 50,000 is when it'll fail.
Got it.
So at 50,000, I tend to recommend all the plastic you replace that's in the cooling system, as far as the light, easy stuff, not the heavy radiator coolant hose plastic adapters. Those are strong enough to withstand, well over 50,000, but the lighter plastic will fall apart.
Nice.
So that's where we're at.
I appreciate it, getting us back on the road. Within 30 minutes.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it, man. It was a pleasure meeting you. And again, I can't say thank you enough.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Great.
Arizona, super clutch. We have Sierra meeting us right now. I don't know if you guys have seen her Instagram. I'll link it where her IG is at. But she has the red with like pink Alfa. Super stoked on seeing that in person. We posted that we're at the Alfa dealership in Arizona. She's like, I'm literally 30 minutes away. I'm about to head your way. So that's cool. But Arizona, Alfa Romeo of Scottsdale.
Great
literally
service.
The best service I've ever had, hands down, from an Alfa dealer, bar none.
Literally. Everyone
and
was like solid.
And it's not because they gave us a free QV diffuser or front splitter, which as you can see right here, we have a free QV
for
splitter.
Free! Just because.
And we're missing that part, so super clutch to William for getting that us.
Shout out William for sure.
You guys probably just saw the segment of William kind of explaining what went wrong with the car. But not only that, he was just very knowledgeable about the Alfa brand. He was going to offer to do all the service for me to replace everything, but we would have had to stay the night. Even though I was down to do that, we really wanted to be back on the road. My son Luciano is super tired of being in the car.
Yeah, we have 14 hours to go, so
I would have been down, but I just don't have the bandwidth. And he was going to work tonight to fix it, and so I didn't want him to do that either.
Yeah,
so.
we didn't want to do that.
The information they gave me is unmatched. The parts that they gave me unmatched, and the service. So not only did William come in clutch, because William was amazing and very knowledgeable, but John, I have where you go?
If you're in Arizona, hit up John.
John had amazing service. Both of them together combined was like the best service I can ask for.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Oh my god. Hi.
Are those stock wheels?
They are. They're all stock either ceramic coated and white with gold flakes in it. I'll have carbon. The only thing that have the holes in it is I had to rivet them in. And so whenever I go, I have to like extremely angle it, I scrape everywhere.
Wow.
Like the money shot.
Yes, I see it. I don't know if I can get it.
It's really hard to get on camera. So whenever I do, I'll make comments. But when you guys go,
Can you guys see that?
it's Aaron's.
Dude, this is sick.
All right. Now that we're back here in reality, we're gonna go through the car. It's kind of dirty now, obviously, that we've left it out.
You should have parked it at the shade.
Yeah. But there's no like scratches or like big like scrapes. Everything that's there was already there. So nothing crazy on the body of the car or like the hood or anything. So it can withstand 4,000 miles pretty easily.
Yeah.
There was a comment on our last video that talked about the octane. Right?
Yeah.
That's where we go to. So I figured I'd address that one first. So I'm gonna just say this. I use 93 because that's what we have here in Texas. When we don't have 93, I use 91. Anything past that is up to your discretion. Technically, octane is, just I don't how should I say this nicely? But octane,
It's up to you.
it's recommended by the dealer to use premium.
Yeah.
Which would be 91 or 93. You could technically use, I know times are rough right now, so some people want to use cheaper gas. You could do it for maybe a tank. I'm not saying your car wouldn't stutter or trying to like get the fuel ratios right. I personally wouldn't do that to the car, but don't take my word for it. Only use a premium 93, 91. That's all I use. That's all I use in all my cars, to be fair. Even on my minivan, all the way to the FRS, all of them use premium fuel. So that's where I'll leave that at. Not gonna touch too much on that one. Do what you want with your car.
Do what you want with that information.
It is a premium vehicle. I would use, even if it wasn't a premium vehicle, I would still use premium. So, we're just gonna go through some of the errors that we ran into with the car, because we did run into some issues. Now, I will start with this by saying the car made it all 4,000 miles. So, I mean, 3,700 miles all the way there, all the way back, in one piece. Obviously, other than that one stop, and I'm transparent with you guys, I did spend $200 there, which is not a lot considering everything that was done in the 30-minute time span. So I appreciate the hard work and their fast service that they provided. Okay, but I will say 4,000 miles, it made it there and back. I'm not gonna say it didn't,
Right.
but there are some things to note. Now, I will say some of these things may be issued because we don't know when the car ran into the coolant issue. I think
We're just guessing.
I think it did happen in Arizona. Crystal thinks it may have potentially happened sooner because once we
I think it happened in New Mexico.
Because once we did get this issue solved, it solved some of the other problems that we were having.
Yeah.
So we could have had a leak, it could have been broken. I'm not too sure. But essentially, we ran into high coolant temps. So it usually stays like right at the middle bar. Obviously that's where most cars stay at. Ours started creeping up in New Mexico, just 1 bar above it, and it did make me feel uncomfortable. Obviously when you run the car's kind of hot. I was talking to Narek and from Las Vegas. He said that it happens in Vegas a lot. So driving the car for 9 hours at a time, I figured it could go up. It did make me feel a little uncomfortable. That started going up, and it was kind of wishy-washy, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to keep climbing up. Was my only concern. Look at, you see how it has a QV? And now we have actually a QV hit. But let's see here. Our MPG was, let's look at, see, 3,700. Yeah, so right almost like 300 miles, right?
Yeah, about
300 miles short of 4,000. So don't judge us. It just looks better for the thumbnails, guys. But yeah, we did an average of 27 miles to the gallon and 51 miles per hour.
wow.
And then this is right here. This is where that little bar, it went up 1 notch. It just made me a little stressed. It didn't like overheat past that, but again, it didn't make me feel comfortable either. But the car did really great on fuel economy. Obviously, sometimes we're going downhill, so we got like anywhere from like 400 to 500 miles per fill up, which was pretty cool. Okay, so we talked about octane. We talked about the high temperature oils. We talked about the coolant line. We talked about the MPG, average mile per hour. So the last thing that we wanted to talk about was the transmission. So we did run into some issues with the transmission. At first, we thought it was the throttle controller. So while we're high speeds in Arizona?
We were leaving New Mexico, going to Arizona.
We're leaving New Mexico and Arizona. The car pretty much came to a standstill, and it didn't recognize the throttle at all, no matter what I did. So I had to pull off to the side, turn the car off, turn it back on, and it registered. We ended up calling Randy from 911 Automotive here in the DFW area.
Shout out Randy.
Randy used to be, he's actually pretty much been a service manager at every major Alfa Romeo dealership here in the DFW area, and he now works for 911. I gave him a call, super helpful. I've sent a lot of people his way, but essentially what he told me is that because the car is tuned, already the car has issues picking up altitude changes, and we're actually going up on a hill, so it was high altitude. It already has issues. Once you're tuned, it's even harder for the car to read the right air fuel mixture, the right air fuel ratio. So essentially it was trying to adjust, because when the transmission went to a standstill, we didn't throw any check engine lights. In Scottsdale is the only time we ever threw a check engine light. So this one didn't even register. So there was no code to even clear. There was nothing to even tell me what was wrong with it.
It just stopped.
So that's
fun.
That's why I had to reach out to somebody, because that was really the mind-boggling. To be fair, I didn't bring an OB2 reader. I didn't bring my tablet to retune my car back to stock. I didn't bring anything. We literally just
living life on the edge.
Pretty much just came out here just the way it's the whole tuned and everything. So pretty much he said, if it's showing no code, just turn it off, turn it back on, which we did. It's a little nerve-wracking when that happens, because there's when we were going to Las Vegas, it was extremely rainy. It was raining, windy. There was low visibility, and the car started to have didn't stop like it did earlier.
It's like a stutter.
It was like a stutter, so it made us a little uncomfortable, especially because we have our son back here. Again, I should have known to bring my tablet. That's on me. I should have returned it back to factory settings before obviously taking it on a trip like that.
Know.
But I didn't even think about it, to be honest. But yeah, so that was the only bad thing on the trip. Now I thought with the I don't know why I assumed with the coolant fixes, because the coolant fixed the obviously the overheating, fixed a lot of different things. I thought maybe it would just go away, and it wouldn't happen again, but it actually ended up happening on our way back. But again, the last strip of road that we went on was from literally Arizona straight all the way to Dallas, which that trip alone was 14 hours straight. So the car didn't have any issues for those 14 hours except for the last maybe 30 minutes. So, and again, it could have been just because I was beating it for 14 hours, because at that point we weren't in high altitude anymore. We were back to normal altitude, so it was concerning that it happened again. But at the same time, we did just drive it for 14 hours, so it could have been that the car was just tired. So there's a lot of different factors at play. The car, I will say the car made it the 4,000 miles a trip. I've seen people do 2,500 miles not tuned, perfectly fine. I've seen people do a whole bunch of different trips, perfectly fine. If you go on the Facebook forum, there's a lot of people doing trips. No issues at all. Mine, I think what the issue was because I was tuned, obviously for the phase 2 tune, and it just didn't respond well. Going forward, if I were to do this trip again, I would tune it back to factory and keep my tablet with me if I wanted to untune it or turn it back up. But the last portion of this is if we would do this again.
Well, you just answered.
Well,
would you do it again?
I would do it in a stock. I think this car at this point has too many factors. We have like the side skirts that started like having some issues with lining up.
You can't like factor in the.
Well, I'm saying
skirts.
if I would do it with this car specifically.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I would do it because, like, again, we have you know, obviously some front end work that we need to figure out.
We have some fitting issues.
Fitment issues we got to work out over there. You know, the diffuse. There's like a lot of like when you start modifying your car, there's a lot of like little.
Tiny things that you need to zip tie together. Just put some duct tape on it.
So I personally, I wouldn't take this car again. Crystal and I are thinking about getting a Stelvio. If we do get a Stelvio, I would take the Stelvio, no problem. I would make sure I bring a tablet, untune it, and I'm sure I'd do the 4,000 miles just fine. Especially with our all-wheel drive system, no issues at all.
Yeah.
I just think that this car, the way that it's set up,
our car specifically
not an Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, before people start going all crazy in the comments, our car specifically, I personally wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
But the only reason I wouldn't do it again is not only because of the issues, but because I feel like we would be more comfortable in a bigger car. Like, I have my son with me. I have our luggage. I have a lot of stuff. It's not that we weren't. We
will say we did have this car packed to the rim, and it can hold a lot.
We did. We did.
We brought a spare tire with us because we have obviously a lot of sets of different wheels. I had a spare tire with us. I had a jack with us. I had a stroller with us. We had a whole suitcase. When we came back, I brought my dad's alcohol.
Luciano's bed.
We had him. Yeah, so the car can pack a lot. And there's somebody on the Facebook group, I didn't mean to cut you off, but there's somebody on the Facebook group that asked, like, hey, can I do a 3,000? This car will handle it, no issues at all.
Yeah.
And again, even tuned, it still handled it. Again, the only issue is when we start going into those high altitude areas, it becomes a little sketchy.
A little sketchy. But I wouldn't do it in this car again. This car specifically. Stelvio, yeah, probably.
Even another Giulia would probably be fine.
Yeah. But if it was just us, I think I was more concerned about my son and like if we're all fitting.
Yeah, the transmission stopping and like obviously not registering our foot anymore. Not cool. Not cool at all.
I was this close to recording Ricky like lose his mind because he was like losing it, like having an.
Sorry if this vlog is all over the place. We've had to switch phones at this point, or switch recording devices. We've had to switch locations. Too hot, too cold. I don't know. It's been all over the place. So I
actually like this angle better.
Appreciate you guys for watching this one. More alpha content literally later this week. 2-year ownership. The 2-year ownership review was done before we went on the trip, so like they won't have those calculations in there. We'll also put how much we spent on fuel down here, right here in the left-hand corner, right-hand corner. I don't know which one.
I don't know. Whatever.
One of these. Other than that, we'll catch you guys in the next video.
See you on the flip side.
Thank you guys for supporting us along this this trip.
It was really cool meeting you guys.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was an experience for sure.
This is where we're gonna end today's vlog. We'll catch you guys in the next one. We don't waste your time because we know you guys don't even see it this long anyways. Bye.
Stop.
Maybe you know.
You don't go.
How do I get to Wells Fargo?
Make it right.
I swallowed my gum. Didn't mean to do that. I was trying to focus and I was like,
You swallowed it, bro?
yeah.
What a fucking loser.
Alright, well, hold on, sorry. It's going
Go
straight.
at the lights, make it right.
Fucking idiot, dude. It's still brand new. It's spicy going down my throat. I was trying to concentrate.
So you swallowed so what's your gum?
I wasn't trying to, dude.
Chewing? Too much.
I was trying to like just stop the chewing.
Too much chewing. I need to focus on the road. Swallow it.